YouTube, what's up? It's your boy Antha Barber coming back at you with another haircut tutorial. In this video, I'm going to be doing a low taper on difficult hair. So I like to begin each cut by brushing or combing out my client's hair, and all I'm really trying to do here is just get everything to lay in its natural direction. Alright y'all, so I'm going to go ahead and do this tutorial kind of like I've done others in the past. And that's where I'm going to let you just follow along right here. I'm not necessarily going to walk you through it. I just kind of want you to walk yourself through it. And if there's anybody that's struggling on tapers, or you don't understand the process or exactly how the steps work, right now I want you to get active in that comment section below. That way we could go ahead and get you past that. I am going to run everything in real time on this tutorial. So again, I'm not going to walk you through it, but when we get to the side taper and when we get to the shear work, I'm going to jump back on the mic. Alright, so now that I got everything laid down, I'm going to jump in with my caliber 38 special, and I'm going to begin to create my first guideline, which is going to be my bald guide. Now that my bald guideline was created, I'm going to come in with my caliber RPG foil shaver, and I'm going to completely bald out that guide. When I get towards the top of that guideline, I will use that flick out motion because I want to demonstrate a smooth transition from completely bald to stubble. So once I completely balded that out, I'm now coming in with my caliber 357 Magnum clipper. This does come with a standard fade blade. So I'm going to come in with my lever open, and I'm going to begin to create my next guideline. And I'd say I'm giving myself a little under a half of an inch because this is a low taper. Once that guideline was created with the lever open, I'll now close my lever and begin to blend from the bottom of that guide right back up towards the top of that guide. And as you can see, little by little as I work my way up, I'll slowly open that lever. And by the time I get back towards the top of that guide, it'll be completely blended out. So now that that guide was set, created, and blended out, I'm now going to move on to my next guideline. So I'm going to use my caliber 50 cal, and I'm going to come in with the lever fully open using the wall number 1 guard, and I'm going to create my next guideline, giving myself the same amount of space that I gave myself with the previous guide. That way I keep everything consistent. Once that guide was created with the lever open, I'm now going to close my lever and begin to blend from the bottom of that guide right back up towards the top of that guide. But this time I'm going to go ahead and keep my lever fully closed. The one closed tends to leave weight behind, so I'm going to show you how to remove that right now. So I'm coming in with the same clipper with the lever open, this time with my wall half color guard. And I'm attacking right above the weight that I see with the lever open. And I'm going to use the fade down process to remove the weight that I see. Meaning I'm going to close my lever as needed, working my way down until that guide's completely blended out. Alright, so now that I have that blended out, I'm going to come in with my wall 1.5 premium guard, and I'm going to begin to create and set my next guideline. I am, however, using that flick out motion when I get towards the top of this guide, because I don't want to go very much higher with this taper because it is a low taper. So anything that I do set in, I want to set it in softly so it's easy to remove. So once that guide's created with the lever open, I'll then close my lever and begin to blend from the bottom of that guide right back up towards the top of that guide, going right to where I just left off with the lever fully open. Alright, so now that that's cleaned up, I'm going to slap on my wall number 3 premium guard, and I'm going to come in with the lever open, and I'm going to begin to knock down all this bulk. This is going to be the desired length for my client on the side. So again, I didn't want to take that taper too high, so I ended it off right where I did, and now I'm knocking everything down, removing all the bulk evenly. Once I clean it all up with the lever fully open, I'll then go back to the taper areas with the lever closed and begin to blend any weight that I see. And in the beginning of this tutorial, I did start off by saying that this haircut was difficult, or at least his hair was. And the reason why I say that is clearly we could all see the color of his hair. Unfortunately, you can't feel the texture of his hair through the screen, but you can see the color. So just the color itself is difficult. Anybody knows that it could be difficult to blend out this hair color. But it's not only his hair color, it's also his hair texture. The color and the texture of his hair combined together makes it really difficult to see any blend at all. It's just kind of something he deals with. He even pointed it out to me in the beginning of this haircut. This is the first time that I've ever cut his hair. He actually is a friend of the family, and oddly enough, he's never let me get down on his hair before. But you know, now he sees your boy doing his thing and now he want to cut. Nah, I'm just playing. Shout out to him though. So now that I knocked everything down, now I'm going to come in and I'm going to begin to attack any dark spots that I see. So I slapped on my wall number 2 premium guard, and I am coming in with the lever open, and I am using that scoop out motion. This time I'm going to use the fade down process. So any weight that I do see, I'll attack it with the lever open, and I'll begin to close my lever and blend down as needed until it's completely blended out. Alright, so now that blend's starting to come together on that taper, I'm going to jump to the shear portion of this cut. He doesn't want to cut all these curls off, but he did want to get a trim on top. So what you seen me doing right there was just wetting the hair to gain a little more control over it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the center section of the front of his hair, so in his bang or fringe area. And I'm going to make my first initial cut, which is going to be my guideline throughout this whole cut. Once that cut was made, I'm now going to work my way towards the left side of his head. And every time I pull up a new section of hair, I'm constantly including an old piece of the section that I just cut so I could use it as a guide or a reference point. I'm going to go ahead and use that method throughout this whole haircut, but I am going to speed it up some because unfortunately my camera was zooming in and out of focus, and that could be a little disturbing on the eyes. But however, I did want to share it because I still feel like somebody will gain value from it. So now that I got everything cut evenly, I'm gonna go ahead and dry the rest of his hair. What I'm trying to do here is dry everything so I can re-wet it to bring his curls back, if that makes sense. So he does have curls, we all saw that. Once I wet the hair and I started to stretch it out and trim it, it started to take them curls away. So I'm gonna go ahead and dry everything with the blow dryer. I'm gonna do some clipper over comb right here so I could bring this taper into the length on top. And then I'm gonna go ahead and re-wet his hair a little bit, trying to bring some of those curls back. So right here I'm using clipper over comb. I am using my 357 caliber clipper. I'm coming in with the lever close, but I do have on the wall #1 color guard. Again, this is just something that I like to do. Some people like to come in with no guard with the lever closed. Some people like to come in with no guard with the lever open. Typically, anytime I leave a blend off with the 1.5 guard with the lever open, I like to come in with my clipper with the #1 guard with the lever closed. It's just something that I'm comfortable with doing, and it only makes sense to me that it will blend in correctly in the way I want it to, because I just left off with the 1.5 fully open, and now I'm coming in with the clipper with the #1 guard closed. So that's a #1, and then that comb essentially acts as a guard itself, and so you add that one and the 1 guard on, and that makes it 2, and so that 2 just gradually flows into that 1.5 open. Alright y'all, so here is a look at the final cut, and this is actually going to be the final look because I didn't get any more than this. So I apologize for that, but if you did get anything useful out this, I ask that you smash that like button. If you're new to my channel, I suggest you stick around. It's only going to get doper from here. I appreciate y'all. Be blessed and be a blessing. I'm out.